Greetings and salutations, friends! We've been given some more news today. The so-called skill posters of the Greenskin legendary Lords Grimgor, Ironhide, and Saga the Slaughterer. Now, we'll start with Grimgor. You'll see in front of you here the various skills he can acquire. Only 6 of them, so I'm assuming that these are their activatable skills or something, because they look to be more in their skill tree, but then again, that might not have been a finished skill tree, etc, etc, so. First up, Blood-Forged Armor. Enables the quest chain to unlock the Blood-Forged Armor, a legendary suit of armor unique to Grimgor. Okay, so that is actually a quest chain that you can unlock via his skill tree, which is interesting because it is the only reference to such an unlock, which is why I'm a little bit, I'm wondering if this is actually the full skill poster, because if there's only one, and Saga the Slaughterer actually has, I believe, no missions that unlock these quest missions, so I'm assuming these are just tidbits, so to say. Then you have Devastating Charge, which is nice, of course, you want that with a Orc army, certainly. The Immortals, which is nice, so we know that he will have the Immortals with him. And you can increase the size of his bodyguard, which would be really nice for having him be more of a offensive general. We don't know how tough he's going to be in-game. I'm assuming he's going to be considerably tougher than your average Total War general, as they are not particularly good at combat, as anyone who has lost the bastard to a bunch of peasants has probably realized at this point. Then we have Vag, which appears to be a AoE version of Devastating Charge. Now it does say Grimgor and all around him surge towards the foe in tidal wave of violence, so I'm assuming it has a circular AoE, much like what we've seen in other Total War games. Then we have Wag Path, increases the likeliness of generating a Wag when in a foreign territory. Not entirely sure what this one means, because as they stated in the campaign video, it seemed like once your Wag meter reached max, you automatically generated a secondary army that would follow you around, so is that referring to that? Does it increase the likelihood of generating that army? Does it generate more Wag, perhaps? It just seems strange because increases the likeliness of generating a Wag when in a foreign territory. Like, it doesn't sound like generating Wag, the resource. It sounds like it's an actual effect, so to say, so I'm not entirely sure on that one. Then there's Raider, Looter, and Ravager. Increases Grimgor's army's income from raiding, looting corpses, and sacking enemy settlements. So I'm assuming this increases the income, of course, from raiding. Post-battle, I'm assuming they get some money after beating an enemy army. And of course from sacking enemy settlements, which is nice. It might actually make it worth a while sacking a settlement every now and then. Which is interesting. It'll reward you a bit for playing as an orc. I am hoping it is not a late game thing, because that would kind of defeat the point, but like I said, I'm thinking this is probably just an outtake of his skills rather than a complete skill list. So with that in mind, moving on to Saga the Slaughterer. His first unlock is Skullmuncher, which is his ferocious pet Wyvern, followed with Get On With It. Azag's infectious eagerness to kill boils over, granting increased charge damage for him and those around him. I'm assuming this is much the same as Wag for Grimgor Ironhide, increasing melee damage of of allied units, in an area of effect around him. And then there's the Purple Son of Zeruz, also known as the Purple Son of Prepare Your Anus, which could be very, very interesting indeed. Now, this is a spell from Warhammer Fantasy that essentially it attacks a unit's best form of defense, which is usually toughness, which means that the higher toughness units, the more damage it does, which means it is an absolute nightmare for stuff like ogres, etc. And dwarves also do not particularly like this spell. It can be very devastating, so I'm wondering how they're going to implement that, because it is perhaps a slightly OP spell in Warhammer Fantasy, so I'm looking forward to see how they implement that in Total War Warhammer. Then there's Doom and Darkness. This hex summons the spirits of the departed, massively reducing enemy morale. I'm assuming this is a targeted ability, because if this is a battlefield AoE, that would be potentially a little bit OP, so interesting, a morale debuff. Then there's Spirit Leech. Leeches the spirit of a single enemy unit through Tainted Sorcery. Now, I'm wondering if this is single enemy unit as in a unit, a group of soldiers, or if it's a unit as in a single model, because that distinction is rather important. And I'm wondering how much damage it does. Like, could this... It'll probably kill an infantryman straight out, but how much damage would it do to a special character, to a general like Karl Franz, for example, or Thorgrim Grudgebearer, I wonder. Interesting. Lastly, Lightning Strike. Azog attacks with unexpected speed, preventing the enemy from calling reinforcements. I'm assuming this is on a campaign map ability. Essentially, if an enemy army is within the reinforcements range of another enemy army, you can use these ability, either if it is an ability or if it is a passive, to attack that army with lightning speed, and then attack them and fight the battle without them being able to call in their reinforcements, which would be a really, really cool ability for Azog, because that is what he did. He outmaneuvered his enemies. He struck where they least expected, which is very, very, very cool. I like that a lot. First of all, it's a very useful campaign ability, obviously, but it also fits his character as Azog the Slaughterer, so I like that. I would even like it even better if it has a percentage chance to fail when Azog takes control back from his crown. That would be really, really nice. I like that quite a lot. So, those are the skills we've been given so far. Again, I'm assuming that these are just an outtake and not the complete skill trees, because I'm pretty sure they are considerably larger in the campaign video, although, of course, you know, it's all in development, so we can't really assume anything with complete certainty, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is not the finished tree, so... All in all, looks pretty damn interesting, some cool abilities. I would have liked a little bit more targeted abilities for Grimgor, but he might have those abilities, they just haven't shown them to us yet. You know, perhaps a challenge against an enemy lord, because that is what Grimgor did. He challenged particularly tough enemies to one-on-one combat to, you know, challenge himself, essentially. He wanted to find strong opponents to fight, so that would be very, very cool ability. Might be OP, since you could, you know, drag your general out of the ranks and have him face Grimgor, which is probably not a fantastic idea when I come to think of it, but it would definitely be a very Grimgory thing to do, so I'm hoping to see that, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, I haven't seen any other news regarding the whole controversy of the capturing the map, conquering the whole map. I've been looking, but I haven't found any, so if you've found something that I haven't, then do please leave me a comment and I'll look into it. So, until next time, I have been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you soon. Have a good day.